What fool thing is Johnny doing now? Well, here we go. Lee Hacklin, private investigator, in Real Estate of Fear, Chapter 10, the final chapter. It's a big decision, Don. Take your time. It takes guts to do what you know in your heart is right. We were in the living room of a Bensonhurst house that was long past its expiration date. There was more duct tape on the walls than wallpaper. The blizzards were well past their twilight years. They were warm and lovely, but sad and desperate and regretful too. They had 3 cats, and the smell of feline droppings was pungent and dizzying. Don had Rosewood's pen in his hand. The lenses in his glasses were at least 1 inch thick. He went through the contract again, line by line, and I wondered sadly if he understood a single word. I don't know, Ross. Debbie and we've never had real money before. I've been a factory worker my entire life. When I was a boy, I wanted to be a train engineer. Always had a fascination with trains. Well, I made my choices. I had to quell an urge to cry. I could feel my heart break for this man who'd spent his early and middle years denying what mattered most to him. Ross grinned like the Joker and said, "Never let anyone tell you it's too late, Don, to make a better choice. We have to live our lives in the here and now. This land you're about to invest in will triple in value before year's end. May I ask how old you are, sir?" He had to think for a minute. Debbie answered for him. Freddie Forgetful is 84. Ross said, "Let's say you live to be 100. Many Americans do. You sign this contract, you'll live your last 16 years as a millionaire. Better late than never, am I right? What do you think, Debbie?" "What do you think, Debbie?" "I think he should sign it, and I think we should celebrate." He did, and we did. Hot dog, Lee. Was that something or was that something? Congratulations, Ross. We were back in his car headed for Brooklyn. I didn't know what to think about that experience, but I sure knew how I felt about it. Sick to my stomach. Keep smiling, Hacklin. We're going back to the agency. What time is it? 8? Brett usually stays late. He'll deposit the check in the morning, and if it actually clears, then he'll get 25%. That's around 5 grand. Not bad for a night's work, huh? What if it bounces? Occupational hazard. I'm low on gas. As if on cue, he farted. The other kind. Haha. He pulled into a Gulf station and shut off the engine. Lee, after I drop off the contract and the check, how about we get a couple of fat steaks? How about we drink ourselves stupid? That sounds nice, Ross. Sure. Ross got out, filled his tank, went inside. Then he disappeared for a few minutes. To take a leak, I guess. Opportunity, meet action. I went through his glove compartment. It was stuffed with receipts. A slip of paper fell out, and I caught it midair. How come nobody's ever around when I do something like that? It was a photocopy. There was a name on it and an address typed and written, and red ink below was the acronym PREA. I folded it, tucked it into my blazer pocket, a lit from Rosewood's car, and went to a payphone. There was a white pages and a yellow pages. That's what we had before the internet, kids, and we made do. I called Brett, told him about the photocopy, and when I gave him the name, he dropped the phone. When I said what was written on it, he uttered George Carlin's famous list of words that can't be said on television. The Parker Real Estate Agency. F word. Where did you find it? In Rosewood's glove compartment. He killed Simon, Lee. That's a lead you have, what we call a gold lead. It was Simon's, and Ross killed him for it. I can't imagine why he would make a photocopy, but I'll bet he sold the real one to Parker. Okay, doing a little editing here. But I'll bet he sold the real one to Parker. I'm calling the police. Good work, Lee. He hung up. Bang! There was a flash of light from within the station. 2 men, wearing stockings over their heads and wielding shotguns, stormed towards me. They were alive 1 second and dead the next, courtesy of yours truly. I ran inside. The clerk was on the phone. 911 just put me on hold. Can you believe that? Ross was on his back. There was a bloody hole in his chest. I took off my blazer and pressed it against him. The clerk said, "That poor man. He tried to stop them. He's a real hero, that one." Ross sputtered, "Yeah, that's me, a real American hero, a real superhero just like you, Lee." He spat out some blood. "I've wasted my life, Lee. I was feeding you a line before. I never wanted to be a salesman. I wanted to be an actor. My old man said it was for sissies, and I believed him. What a fool I was." "Be quiet, Ross. I sure have a lot to atone for. I'll say, you murdered a war veteran. You left his wife a widow and robbed his children of their father, and you did it for no other reason than your own personal gain. What you did just now, as far as I'm concerned, was noble, but it doesn't let you off the hook for Simon Levine, not by a long shot." His eyes widened. "I found the photocopy in your glove compartment. Why did you make it?" After I sold Parker the lead, I asked him for a job. He sure pays better than Brett the cheapskate. He wrote me a check for the lead and told me to F off. I planned ahead. I was going to sell the photocopy to another agency. The bank's threatening to foreclose on my house, Lee. I'm desperate. Desperate men do desperate things. The bad ones do. The good ones figure it out. They don't murder an innocent man. That wouldn't even occur to them. Oh, what are you, an angel? No, I'm just a man, but I can look at myself in the mirror, wink and mean it. I don't know how a man like you can look in a mirror without punching it. He wept. I wanted to be an actor. Simon Levine wanted to live. I'm sorry. Tell it to the judge. Tell it to God. Live your life, Lee. Don't waste it like I did. He closed his eyes for the last time. Good. And that's the end of Lee Hacklin, Private Investigator in Real Estate of Fear. Now, this book is dedicated to David Mamet. Clearly, the story is influenced, shall we say, by the great play and subsequently the great movie Glengarry Glen Ross, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. So there's no point in me pretending otherwise. Without Glengarry Glen Ross and without David Mamet, this story doesn't exist. So thank you, David. I hope that it's different enough. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Please follow your bliss, everybody. The effort rewards itself. Boy, does it ever. Happy Thursday and happy Easter. Cheers. And don't forget, God loves you. Follow your bliss, everyone. It's worth it, trust me. Take it from your old Uncle Johnny. It's a beautiful day. Don't let it get away.